Yo, this is the morning after. And I want to start by saying thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. So, fights last night, great card. It was stacked from the beginning. Now, let's review or give my thoughts on the first fight, which was DEMETRIUS ANDRADE versus DEMOND NICHOLSON. Alright. So this was Boo Boo's first fight at 168. And I was going back and forth with another YouTuber about, his Boo Boo. Oh, Boo Boo, everybody's been ducking Boo Boo. And Boo Boo should be fighting Triple G and Canelo. And I'm like, whoa, Boo Boo hasn't really done much. His resume is not that good. This was like 2-3 days ago, right? So tonight, I first of all, I like watching Boo Boo fight. I was never, I like watching the fight, but I was never really impressed with his performances in the manner that other people were impressed. I like watching him fight. He seemed like a solid fighter, but he never seemed like an elite fighter. He didn't seem like an elite fighter to me. He seemed solid, but not elite. And I did not get where people wanted to or thought that he was elite. And I didn't understand why they thought that he could beat Canelo or Triple G or someone like that. So this fight here, I don't think that Boo Boo, with that performance, I don't think that he gained new fans. And of course, the people who support Boo Boo, I like all boxers, watching all boxers. I appreciate them and respect them. But at the same time, you have to understand there's levels to everything. There's levels to everything. There's levels to, boxing at a standard level. Then you have elite levels. Then you have, up top super elite. And I don't think that Boo Boo, it was a decent fight. He was winning. It was obviously he was winning every round. Some say he got knocked down, but the ref didn't call it, so it wasn't a knockdown. And he knocked down DEMOND NICHOLSON twice in that fight. But it just, I don't see how I don't see how people consider him an elite fighter. He's a solid fighter. He's a good fighter. But I just, again, what are your thoughts? Were you impressed with his performance last night? Now, the people that support him, they're going to, oh, this is his first fight at 168. Oh, you're just a Boo Boo hater. No, I like watching Boo Boo fight. He's a good fighter. But I don't, and this was his first time at 168, and he was calling out Canelo at 168 when he hasn't even fought at 168 before. So he would have been fighting a Canelo at 168, or a David Benavidez at 168, or a Caleb Plant at 168. So you really, and I'm not gonna say he struggled with DEMOND NICHOLSON. Well, I don't want to say he struggled, and I also don't want to say that he looked like an elite fighter. He looked good. And his opponent, DEMOND NICHOLSON, he who was the first guy to go the full distance with Edgar Berlanga, who had been knocking out all of his opponents in like the first round, the first or second round. So DeMond Nicholson was not a pushover by any means, a stretch of the imagination. He was a solid fighter. So the issue is, my main issue with Boo Boo, but with the fight, is that one, he didn't look elite at 168. Maybe it's going to take him some time to get adjusted to 168, the weight. That's a possibility, okay? But I'm just going by this fight. That's all I can go by is this fight. I don't think that he looked elite. And I ask myself, do I think a Canelo or a David Benavidez or a Triple G would have stopped an opponent with one arm? Because, like, in the 7th or 8th round, maybe it was, around the 7th or 8th round, DeMond Nicholson's shoulder got out of place, and he wasn't really throwing too much with that arm. So you have to wonder, you have to ask yourself, would a Canelo or would a Triple G or would a David Benavidez, would they have gotten them out of that ring? Within, excuse me, I have these ducks that was walking by. Would a Canelo or Triple G have gotten DeMond Nicholson out in style before the 10th round? Because it was just a 10-rounder. And you have to, and it's obviously you conclude that, yeah, they would have gotten him out. So that's my review about Boo Boo. Good fight. Not impressive to the point where I don't think that he would have beaten an elite guy like a Canelo or a David Benavidez or a Triple G. He may give Caleb Plant. I'd like to see that fight. I'd like to see Andrade versus a Caleb Plant. Shout out to Andrade for leaving the zone and coming over to the PBC for one or I don't know how many fights. But let's see. Let's see what happens. Hopefully he gets a fight with maybe Edgar Berlanga. That would be a good fight. Demetrius Andrade versus Edgar Berlanga. Because the guy that he beat lost to Edgar Berlanga, so it only makes logical sense for him to fight Edgar Berlanga. I'd like to see that fight. Is Edgar Berlanga on PBC? Or is he on Top Rank? Can't remember. Anyways, that's my thoughts about the Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade fight.